Jiminy recommends 240 Tutoring's Praxis ELA study guide because it provides all the information you need. Even if you're studying in your spare time, like nights or weekends, 240 is ready wherever you are. This review has me so excited to make this video for the Praxis Elementary Reading and Language Arts exam to help other teachers and soon-to-be teachers just like you. My name is Emma, and I taught in elementary classrooms for many years. Now I work with 240 to help teachers pass their certification exams. This video is going to prepare you for the Reading and Language Arts portion of the Praxis Elementary Education Multiple Subjects exam. And this video is going to cover three things: what's on the test and how to study for it, the most important concepts to master, and we're going to look at a few practice questions. The Praxis Elementary Education Multiple Subjects exam is split into 4 subtests: Reading and Language Arts, Mathematics, Social Studies, and Science. Each contains a different amount of selected response questions, but for now, we're going to focus on Reading and Language Arts, which has 80 questions in all. Have you put on your dancing shoes? Let's boogie! Now, the Praxis Elementary Education Reading and Language Arts subtest consists of 2 categories: reading and writing, speaking, and listening. Each category has test specifications listed under it that describe the knowledge and skills covered on the test. Let's highlight some of the most important concepts to know from each category. We'll take it from the top. In the reading category, you'll need to know about foundational reading skills and literature and informational texts. 38 questions come from this category, making it worth 47% of your exam. You'll basically have 2 styles of questions in this category. The first style consists of questions that assess your knowledge of teaching students reading. This includes things like phonological awareness, phonics, word analysis, fluency, and comprehension. The other style consists of questions that assess your reading skills. For these, you'll read a passage and answer 1 or more questions about it. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to tell you the most important things to know for this category. It's almost like I'm making you an anchor chart. So grab your Flair pens and grab your chart paper and let's get to work. One topic that's likely to come up is phonological awareness, or the ability to hear individual words, syllables, and sounds in spoken language. So it's a good idea to review all the skills that fall under that umbrella term. Another big idea to be familiar with is measures of fluency. So if you're not sure exactly what the difference is between accuracy, prosody, and speed, you should brush up on those. Oh, what the heck? Why don't we go ahead and take care of that now? Let's take a peek inside our study guide.
Accuracy is the reader's ability to correctly pronounce words as they appear in the text. To be a truly fluent reader, students must accurately pronounce words with automaticity, the ability to read words effortlessly. For example, a student may spend a significant amount of time decoding words to have strong accuracy, but this would lower their speed. They need automaticity to read fluently. Prosody is the reader's ability to convey expression. Students with strong prosody use appropriate phrasing and emphasis. Their expression matches the tone of the passage. They adhere to punctuation. Speed is the pace at which the reader reads the text. Students who read at an appropriate speed are easily understood because their reading is not too fast or too slow. It's just right. Teachers keep track of students' WPM, the number of words they can read correctly in 1 minute, to determine if they are reading with the appropriate speed.
If you like to learn with videos, we have plenty of them in our study guide. Okay, let's dive into another big topic from this category: main idea and primary purpose. One of the most important things you can do when working with a reading passage is identify the main idea and primary purpose of the text. Simply put, the main idea is the point, the primary purpose is the why. So for example, if I write a short essay on how to make the perfect fruit smoothie, my main idea is giving you the recipe for the smoothie, and my primary purpose is to get you to make me one. Okay, focus. So you'll need to know how to find the main idea and primary purpose of passages. Need practice on this? There are certain parts of a passage that often contain main idea clues. We call them bookends. It's helpful to reread the bookends to figure out the main idea. If the passage is a single paragraph, check the first and last sentences for main idea clues. Oh, and here's a good tip. If the passage is multiple paragraphs, check the first and last sentences of the first and last paragraphs for main idea clues. And remember, you will have to expand upon the main idea and purpose to answer some questions. For those, you'll have to identify supporting ideas, interpret elements of character, setting, and plot, pick the best summary, determine the theme, identify author attitude. The list goes on. If only there was someone who had created tips and examples of each of these skills, and maybe had them all available as videos? Just saying. We made it through the first category. Remember our flare pens and chart paper? Let's imagine that we're flipping that paper over to a fresh sheet and move on to category 2. Category 2 covers writing, speaking, and listening. It's worth 53% of your exam, so expect to answer around 43 questions from this category. Again, you'll see 2 different question styles here. Questions that want to know if you can teach writing, and questions to see if you can work with writing. You won't have to actually write anything. This test is all selected response, but you will have to choose answers that edit writing or revise it for improvement. One topic you'll likely see on your exam is writing types and contexts. There are 3 main types of writing: narrative, persuasive, and informative. Each of the 3 main types of writing has its own purpose, audience, organization, and style choices associated with it. If you're not quite sure about those features, you need to get the 240 study guide. The other big topic you'll need to know here is more of a skill called revise reading. This just means that if you're given a passage, can you make changes to improve the writing? In this video, I'm going to focus on revising reading. But afterwards, if you still have questions about any of this, ask me in the comments. I'm going to be watching the comment section, and I'm here to help. And while you're there, help me settle a debate with my coworker: Crayola or Rose Art crayons? I think we all know the answer. So you may need to revise a reading passage. You'll read a short passage and make changes to improve organization, remove unnecessary information, or improve clarity. When editing a piece, consider these factors: reorganizing to create a logical flow. Check the writing to ensure that sentences and paragraphs build on each other in the best order. Remove details that do not support the main idea. For example, a paragraph discussing the invention of the smallpox vaccine might not need details about the invention of antibiotics. Remove details that are relevant but distract from the main idea. If the entire paragraph was about sharks as ocean predators, a sentence about the movie Jaws would most likely be an unnecessary supporting detail, even though it seems on topic. Choose new vocabulary to eliminate redundant or wordy descriptions. Remove multiple descriptive words if 1 or 2 more precise terms will do. And finally, you may need to edit phrases for consistency in style or tone. The good news is the question should point you in the direction of what you should be editing for. And you'll be given choices, so you're not having to come up with the changes without any guidance. Oh, and this is always a good idea. After you've picked an answer, be sure to check it by rereading the passage with the change to make sure it sounds right. If you're still a little unsure about any of this, use the 240 study guide. It'll save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of worry. And remember, all our guides come with a money-back guarantee. Now that we've gone over a big concept in each of our 2 areas, let's look at some practice questions to show you how those concepts can appear on the test. And if you want a lot of practice questions, you can click the free practice test below. At the end, you get a score report on how well you did on the test, so you'll know where to focus your energy as you study. Now for questions. Remember for the reading category, I told you about identifying the main idea? Let's look at how that's reflected in a question. When you come suddenly upon the porcupine in his native haunts, he draws his head back and down, puts up his shield, trails his broad tail, and waddles slowly away. His shield is the bundle of larger quills upon his back, which he opens and spreads out in a circular form so that the whole body is quite hidden beneath it. The porcupine's great chisel-like teeth, which are quite as formidable as those of the woodchuck, he does not appear to use at all in his defense. He relies entirely upon his quills, and when those fail him, he is done for. Which of the following best explains the main idea of the passage? The defense mechanisms of the porcupine? The habitat of the porcupine? The eating habits of the porcupine? The comparison of the woodchuck's defenses versus the porcupine's? This is the correct answer. This main idea is a description of how the porcupine defends itself. Let's look at one more. This one is about identifying the primary purpose. Practically everyone has heard of Helen Keller. She overcame many hardships and challenges to become the admired figure she is today. Helen Keller was born in 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama, into a modest household. Keller was born without any health issues, and her parents and siblings were overjoyed. Only 19 months old, she was left deaf and blind by illness. Keller's main teacher was Anne Sullivan. She taught Keller to read Braille. Keller went on to publish 12 books and several articles. She is the first deaf-blind person to earn a bachelor's degree. Next time you think about what you can't do, think about Helen Keller. She overcame so much to accomplish what she did. She died on June 1st, 1968. This excerpt was written with which of the following goals in mind? To inform the reader about the life of the first deaf-blind woman to earn a bachelor's degree, to entertain the reader with what one can accomplish if they seek happiness, to inspire the reader with the incredible life and accomplishments of Helen Keller, to argue that Helen Keller was one of the most accomplished women of the last decade. I thought at first that this was the answer, but the question feedback from 240 would tell me that while there is information in the excerpt, the author has a larger goal of inspiring the reader. This is seen in the word choice present in the last paragraph. So this is the correct choice. This excerpt is meant to inspire the reader with Helen Keller's ability to overcome her challenges and achieve many accomplishments. Now, let's look at a question from the second category, writing, speaking, and listening. Henry VIII had faults which have been trumpeted about the world from his own day to ours. But of all English sovereigns, he stands foremost as the monarch of the sea. Young, handsome, learned, exceedingly accomplished, gloriously strong in body and in mind, Henry mounted the throne in 1509 with the hearty goodwill of nearly all his subjects. Happily for herself and for her future colonists, Henry was richly endowed with strength and skill for his task. Before England could become the mother country of an empire overseas, she had to shake off her medieval weaknesses, become a strongly unified modern state, and arm herself against any probable combination of hostile foreign states. With one hand, he welded England into political unity, crushing disruptive forces by the way. With the other, he gradually built up a fleet the like of which the world had never seen. Which of the following is the best way to combine sentences 6 and 7? With one hand, he welded England into political unity, crushing disruptive forces by the way. With the other, he gradually built up a fleet the like of which the world had never seen. This is the correct answer. It's best to connect these sentences using the coordinating conjunction and because they describe achievements that work together. Remember when I said you'll see two different question styles in the writing, speaking, and listening category? That was a work with writing question. Here's a teach writing question. Mrs. Tockert assigns a 4-paragraph essay asking the students to write about a favorite memory associated with a favorite season. The rubric requests that at least 5 sensory details be included in each paragraph. Which type of writing will the students be doing? Expository, narrative, descriptive, persuasive. Descriptive is the correct answer because students will be expected to describe the memory using sensory language and descriptive details. No story elements are expected outside of those necessary to explain the memory. Now that's just a small sampling of practice questions to give you an idea about how these concepts are assessed on the test. Congratulations on finishing the video. If you found it helpful, give it a like. There's still plenty more to learn. Did you know that 240 has helped thousands of teachers pass their Praxis exams? If you really want to make sure you're prepared for the reading and language arts portion of the Praxis Elementary Education Multiple Subjects exam, take the next step and subscribe to the 240 Study Guide. It has hours of videos so you can watch or listen as you please. It's test aligned so you know precisely what you need to study. And it has hundreds of practice questions so you can be sure you're ready. And it has the money back guarantee. So click the link below right now to get started.